Hello everyone, this is New Year's Eve of 2015. Tomorrow will be the first day of 2016. Oh my gosh. I wanted to take this opportunity to bring you up to date a little on the Osiris Arising project, which is really my main font of work right now. A lot has been going on the inner planes that really, it's not easy to talk about. I don't really know all of it. I'm just assured by my inner planes mentor, Thoth Hara, that this is taking place. And there are certainly glimmers of it coming forth, not only through myself, but others in the Sholar Sisterhood, who are the guardians of the hosting skulls for the dweller crystal skulls. But also, we've had several events that have been very profound for the whole experience. Some journeys, voyages with the dweller hosting skulls that were not just for show by any means. They were very deep, intrinsic energy workings. Lynn McCullum, who is now going by the name of Unity, began the journeys with taking the White Queen crystal skull and later the Isis crystal skull. I'm speaking now of the hosting skulls, to Egypt. And with the White Queen, my goodness, she went all over the place into South America, visiting not only with the Hopi shamans in Arizona, but with the shamans in South America as well. So much was accomplished on those journeys, and more than I'm going to even try to review here, but just say that it certainly was done, and it anchored very strongly our whole Osiris Arising project into the flow of things. And then Sholar Sister, host guardian Kailasa Jaguar Star, who also goes by Kailasa Black, took the Red Queen hosting skull through a journey in South and Central America with her father that was quite eventful, and many beautiful things occurred there. And as I speak, Unjung Choi, who is a Sholar sister, is with her hosting skull Imagination in Egypt, and soon will be going to Sri Lanka, where some major points are that we're working with in the Osiris Arising. So much is happening there on that front, and has happened. But of course, the Osiris Arising project is not just about people taking journeys with hosting skulls, as important as that is, because of the connections that are made and the energy intentional consciousness that is exchanged between the Sholar sister that's there and the ones that are not there in physical presence, but with her in energy presence, linking through the hosting skulls, connecting to all these sacred places, matrices, and beings that are working through these nodes. And yet, the most important aspect of the Osiris Arising seems to be something that is going on at a much deeper level. Apologies for that little twang there. That was Facebook, I believe. That is going on at a much deeper level. And as I said before, this is something that really can't be talked about. One thing, though, that really I found amazing is most recently there was a video here. I already posted it and commented on it in this posting, but I would like to review it here, about the pyramid merges in Bermuda Triangle. Well, you can see quite clearly in this video we don't seem to be seeing it very clearly. Right, oops, there. Here we are. This part right in here, you can see. And whoa, I'm sorry. Hope I didn't blast your ears. That wasn't intended. And so if we look at the clip of the video that I made about 2 years ago, dealing with what Thoth had told me about the holographic pyramids that are going to start forming within the pyramidus radius matrix. And out of those will come eventually 3D real pyramids. But here we see in my little video, turn the sound off so we can get it better here. Within the sheath, light pyramidic holograms will begin to form on nodal points on the globe. And just take a look at this one here. These hollow pyramids are the natives. That one there, I mean, it really looks a lot like, now I have to go back and find this one again, but I don't know. Let's take that off. Oh my. Let me go back to the beginning and see if I can find a picture right about here. There we are. And you can see, look at the similarity between the two. So I'm really very encouraged by that. Some of the things I receive, heck, a lot of the things I receive are so far out, and they always have been. If you think they sound far out now, oh my gosh, in 1967, I was bringing through stuff like this. I mean, it was like, what? I was afraid they were going to put me away, you know? So, but a lot of what I brought through then has already been realized, or at least partly so, enough that it's pretty obvious that that's what I was talking about then, what was being given to me. And so now here we have this, these pyramids forming, holographic pyramids forming all around the world. I'm thinking, wow, how far away in the future is this going to be? Seems so science fiction. And yet here it's happening. You can see, of course, the craft that's hovering above it. So this kind of thing keeps me going in regard to the Osiris Arising project, and of course everything that I'm doing, but that especially because it's a pretty far out project in and of itself, in the sense of what it means and where it's going. And I've gone over several times what it means, what Osiris Arising really is, but in a nutshell, it's not some being Osiris. It is us. It is the energy within us that is represented by Osiris. It's the ascension process, but it is also a actual dynamic that will take place within the Osirian vault beneath the Pyramid of Giza, the Temple of the Risen One, where the actual soul of the being that was Osiris, or rather the first Osiris, will aid in releasing through his crystal dweller skull that is contained there a starfire kachina dance, as Thoth calls it, a dancing motion of energies that allows the whole planetary experience to ascend. That's a very short version of the story, but I'm sure all of you listening to this have probably heard that story, so I'm not going to go into any more detail right now. And the pyramidus radius matrix that's forming on the planet, that is the matrix of all matrices of the Earth. It's the mother matrix, and it encompasses many things, including the Templar grid that I've been writing about since the 1980s. It encompasses all of this, and it is the bridge between the old and the new Earth. Now, I wrote recently, oh my goodness, and it looks like I have closed it. No, it wasn't actually recently. Sorry about that. It was some time ago, but I don't have it open here. About, in fact, it was probably about, well, it began 1999, and I continued to write about it in 2004, called the Raw Star Dynamic, and Raw Star 2000, I'm sorry. And this is something that I've gone back to and read again recently. I was called back to it. And I'm absolutely amazed at reading it now, because I'd been given no information on the pyramidus radius matrix that long ago. This is more recent, like about 4 years ago. So I go back and read it, and it's so obvious that the Raw Star 2000 was a program that was birthing the pyramidus radius matrix. Now, the pyramids were in place for eons, and this whole thing was intended, it was a program that was on the burner for a long, long time. And the pyramids were in place for this, and they had the codes for it and all of that. But the Raw Star 2000 dynamic project opened it up and released these light codes to be able to trigger the whole dimensional output of these pyramids. For 5 days, beginning December 26th of this year through the 30th, yesterday, Thoth requested that the Sholar sisters, who are the guardians of the hosting skulls for this project, go through a process which is very subliminal mostly, but it was an intentional field that we created to allow the hosting dweller skulls to install within the pyramidus radius matrix. That's really, I hesitated to say it that way because it's really bigger than that, but it's a whole installation of the Osiris Arising project to include it within the pyramidus radius dynamic of itself, so that we are literally moving our project inside the mainframe computer, basically. And so we completed this process yesterday, and now we await to see what happens next. But I feel that we're going to be opening up more and more to new dimensions that are helping Earth to move through its portal. And these new dimensions we're going to be seeing and feeling with specific faces, identities, that are not the whole of what they really are, but they are a presentation that we can grasp, that we can understand symbolically and spiritually. Of course, this not only applies to the to the Pyramidus Radius project, but to the planet Earth. However, projects such as I said Pyramidus Radius, I'm sorry, to the Osiris Arising project, but projects such as that are facilitating the entire planetary consciousness to move synchronously with these events and to open to them more fully. I'm sure all of the sisters have had their unique experiences and very interesting ones in these last 5 days, but I'm going to share mine just here briefly. One of them, the one that I had last night, in which I was standing in front of the Stargate stone in Sri Lanka. That is at one of the sacred sites there, the name of which I cannot pronounce. And I was feeling an incredibly powerful energy that was really not so much in my body, but just in the field around me. And I realized that this Stargate was now, which is of course not the stone itself, but the stone was seeded with the energies of that frequency. That the Stargate was opening up all these other dimensions, getting them ready to filter through into the earth, to assist the earth in this next phase. And when I say dimensions, I mean, specific identities. Like here, I sit in my avatar body in Second Life. This is an identity. It's a world, a pixelated world, but it's nevertheless a world. And inside the world of Second Life, I have created the NewYear Star Sanctuary. And so here I am in that. So you can see it in that format, a dimension that opens up and gives you a locale in which you can operate on certain levels that help you to move more coherently into the next phases of the actual ascension process of the Earth toward the new Earth star reality. There's a video I made some years ago called The Harkening, and it's available in my Spirit store and also for Portal members, my Kyra Portal members. It talks about I was calling it a matrix. It's an energy field called the Kadesh that is interfacing with Earth now to allow the ultra beings to commune with us in a setting, in a place. We may not realize it. Sometimes we may see glimpses of it in dreams or whatever. And of course, this kind of thing has been going on forever in regard to different dimensions coming in and out with us. But this is more specific. This has to do with aligning us to very specific encodings for, indeed, the process of moving into the new Earth star. First, moving into the Pyramidus radius, and through that into the new Earth star. So I'm just going to play just a tiny bit of this video for you here. We shall come face to face and heart to heart with our kindred from other dimensions as worlds as yet unknown to us. In measured grace, so we receive the gifts. We come now to the threshold. The way is clear. The hand is extended to us. And so, at this time, it's just so important, I feel, for all of us to really be open to the experience of that hand being extended to us. What does that mean? It means different things to different people. I mean, there's a core truth for us all in regard to that, but, the hand extended is something that's going to offer us a vision, a sight, a path, an experience of the sacred, of where we're going, also where we've been, and a clearer insight, and a foundation to bringing back together all the parts of our being. I think 2016 is going to be more about that than anything else, bringing it all back together before we can truly move forward in unity. Well, on that, I will end this discourse. Again, I wish you all a very happy new year, and I know it will be. God bless you.